Today I'm talking about some unexpected winter fashion trends that are popping up all over my Instagram feed, and I think you're going to love them. Hi, I'm Leonie and welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, hello, welcome. I'm really pleased you found me. I post new fashion videos every single week on my channel, and if you enjoy this one, I would love you to consider subscribing. Now today I'm talking about some fashion trends that I just can't ignore. Every time I'm scrolling Instagram, they seem to keep popping up and I'm sold on them. They're trends that are unexpected because I just didn't see them coming. I couldn't have forecasted these trends or covered them off in previous videos because they just kind of came out of nowhere. So today I'm going to share some of these very cool trends because I think you're going to like them too. And at this point, I'd like to say a really big thank you to the team at Squarespace for sponsoring this portion of today's episode. I've recently moved my blog over to the Squarespace platform, and the reason I did that is because Squarespace is so simple to use. It's the easiest way, in my opinion, of having or creating an online presence, whether you plan on having a blog or you want to start selling something online, whatever it may be. If you need to get online, Squarespace is the easiest way to do it. Now, what I did and what I recommend that is probably the easiest thing for you to do is whip on over to the Squarespace site, which is simply squarespace.com, and then you can take advantage of a free trial. That's exactly what I did. I had a month-long free trial, and that's plenty of time to give you a little bit of a play with the platform and see how it all works. At the end of that 3 months, if you decide to push play, all you need to do is use my unique URL, which is squarespace.com/the Style Insider. And I also have a discount code which will give you 10% off your first website or domain with Squarespace. And that code is simply the Style Insider. Now, the reason I particularly love Squarespace is, as I said earlier, it's really easy to use. You don't have to be tech savvy. You don't need to know much about being online and all of that kind of back-end techie stuff, because it's a really intuitive platform, which basically just means it makes sense, it's simple, and it's easy to use. It also has absolutely everything you need in one place. So you don't need to go to a separate provider to host your emails and a separate provider to look at your analytics. Everything is there, and it's really easy to read. It's really easy to access. And that, in my mind, just streamlines the process and makes being online so much easier. I have got some new content planned for my blog, and I'll let you know when that's coming. I'll leave a link to my blog in the description box below. But if you are looking at starting any kind of website, then I could definitely hand on heart recommend Squarespace. It is easy. It creates beautiful, beautiful websites that look super professional, and it's just not hard to do. So if you'd like to take advantage of my offer, all the details will be in the description box below. So let's get on with these trends. The first trend that we're seeing, and you might be thinking this isn't a trend, but I have seen so many absolutely beautiful, super chunky scarves around. Now, I know that scarves are always going to be part of winter, but these super sized scarves and extra chunky, lovely, luscious scarves seem to be everywhere and just continually popping up on my Instagram feed that I felt that they needed a little bit of a spotlight of their own. I love the fact that, one, that they're practical, and two, that they just add that finishing touch to an outfit. So they give an outfit a little bit of texture, a little bit of color. A lot of the scarves I've seen have been in beautiful earthy colors or vibrant multicolored scarves. So just adding that extra layer, and the fact that they're a little bit wider and chunkier almost makes them a wrap. So they tend to be extra warmer and just give that really lovely, warm, snuggly look and feel to an outfit. Next up, I keep seeing Sherling Bags. Now, please tell me in the comments below if you see any of these things on your Instagram feed or if it's just me. But these Sherling Bags seem to be everywhere as well, and I just think that they are the perfect little addition to a winter outfit. And they're going to keep your belongings nice and snuggly, but they also just are warm. They're not a cold, hard bag to be carrying with you in winter. they just look cool, they're practical, they're soft, and they're fab. So I wanted to give Sherling Bags a little bit of a shout out because I think they're a great little winter add-on. Next up, I have talked about this trend in previous videos, and that is for cutout knitwear. Now, personally, I've struggled to be a fan of this, but I do tend to think this trend is kind of growing on me ever so slightly. Some of the cutouts are really subtle, and I think the biggest problem that I had with cutouts over winter is just that practicality side of things. But of course, if you're wearing thick, warm outer layers and finishing up with a big chunky scarf, you are going to be warm enough. Cutouts just tend to give the knit pieces a little bit of light relief. I think there are some really lovely knitwear pieces that have these cutouts that are just delicate and add a little bit of interest and a little bit of relief. So I've kind of changed my mind on these cutouts for winter. Next up, I've seen a lot of leather or pleather or vegan leather separates, and I'm really here for them. I think that they are super practical. Although if you're wearing leather or pleather pants, you are going to need something underneath them just so that you don't get that sort of cool feeling on your legs. But the leather or leather look pants are a little bit less skinny, and they're not like a stretchy legging this season. They're more of a tailored pant, so more of a sort of a straight leg tailored pant. And there are also some beautiful tailored leather and leather look shirts as well, which again I think are super practical. They're comfy. I've seen quite a few of them that are a sort of a stretch leather as well. So I think they're comfy. They also protect you from the wind, which is going to give you warmth. And they're just kind of they're an interesting look. I have seen them worn together, but also worn as separate pieces as well. So these leather or leather look separates are definitely trending. I haven't talked about them in my previous videos because I didn't think that they were going to really catch on in the way that they have, but they have, and I think they look great. Now, next up, I'm sure this will divide you, and that is the trend for wearing Ugg boots outside of the house. Now, as an Australian, Ugg boots have been a thing forever, but what I am seeing in terms of a fashion sense this winter is, yes, Ugg boots are being worn outside of the house, but they're the shorter cropped Ugg boots. So they're sort of somewhere between a slipper and a shearling boot. So they're going to be super comfy, and obviously they're not going to work if it's snowing where you live. They're not weatherproof, but I do love the fact that they are built for comfort, and they're a little bit more streamlined. There's some seaming detail in them so that it actually gives the shoe a little bit more shape, because in my mind, when I think of Ugg boots, I think of them as sort of large, clumpy, shapeless boots. But the Ugg boots this season that are being worn in sort of street style-y looks are definitely a little more streamlined, a little more finer, a little more shaped, and obviously super comfortable. So that's why I've included them on my list. I've talked quite a bit in my videos recently about quilted coats, puffers, cloud coats, and that is probably the biggest outerwear trend for the season. But what I'm also seeing is the return of puffer style vests. Now, you might also say that this is sort of a look that is always practical over winter, and yes it is, but we often don't see it as much in a fashion sense, and I think it's great. I think it's very cool. Again, practical. There's a bit of a theme here. I'm all about practicality when it comes to fashion and style and looking good. It still has to be comfortable and serve a purpose. And in winter, I don't like being cold. So anything that's going to keep me warm, and obviously a puffer is going to keep your core warm, which is really key. I love the fact that there's a little bit more flexibility with puffer vests as opposed to a puffer coat or jacket. You obviously don't have the same amount of fabrication, but they're also not going to keep you quite as warm. But puffer vests, I think, can just add that final little layer that will keep you warm and will just mean that you can be a little bit more active at the same time. Anyway, that's it from me today. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, I'd love you to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.